Temperatures climb up to around 50 for our Monday, and then we drop back into the 20s overnight. Temperatures around 50 for Tuesday. We get a little bit cooler as we head toward the middle of the week, but plenty of sunshine and a few days to dry things up after the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
If you need home medical equipment, call Lowry Drug in Statesville. We have everything you need in stock, including portable oxygen concentrators, CPAPs, masks, lift chairs, wheelchairs, scooters, hospital beds, supplies, and anything else you need. Get it when you need it. Check out LowryDrug.com or call 704-873-2247. Lowry Drug, your hometown source since 1959, across from Iredell Memorial Hospital. We are worth the drive. Come see us.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
I want to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Biz Now, because your business matters.
Yeah! You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you live from Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village and also in Denver on Highway 16. Going by there, tell them Joe sent you. Your first cigar is on me. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do every Monday afternoon. This is WSIC. I am Joe Vagnone, and you are listening to Local Biz Now. If you don't believe we are the #1 live business show in North Carolina, let me prove it to you. Here we go. We have been doing this for 11 years strong. We have well over 908 small business owners and community leaders that we have interviewed. We have 736. Julie counted them yesterday. 736 videos on our of our interviews on our channel for YouTube. Please subscribe. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube, and subscribe. There are so many different, intelligent, sharp people that are advising and helping and giving you motivation, inspiration, and there's some entertainment in there as well for small business people going by there. Joe Vagnone, businessbroker.com, and subscribe for that. We are live on the book, live on the tube, live on the X, and live on the chain. For those of you that don't know Joe Talk, that is Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Julie is monitoring the book, so you can chit-chat to us through the book, and I'll try and get you on the show if that's the case. And Julie is also there making sure that my co-host doesn't make a mistake, and that I always look good and sharp and intelligent, which reminds me, everybody needs a Julie. So you are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And every month I have a co-host on, and this month is no exception. It is Brian Kennedy. Brian he likes for me to call him the chief catalyst and encourager. He is the CEO of Brian Kennedy Global. Brian, my friend, thank you for being here, buddy.
Joe, thanks for having me back. And I tell you what, making you look good is easy. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. Awesome.
So, you like to call yourself the catalyst and encourager. I see you as this old school mentor and Zig Ziglar kind of a guy, right? Like when I look at you, you remind me of the guy I used to listen to all the tapes, everything that had to do with motivating me. I just encapsulate that with you. Is that a fair, can I do that and get your acceptance? Or you're saying, Joe, I'm more than that?
Well, you can't be more than that. that bar is set so high. But you're right. It'd probably be old school. At first, I thought it was an old joke, but old guys
Well,
joke.
listen, you and I both, buddy, are getting old. Unfortunately, that's just a fact of this, right?
Well, I'm not really getting older. I'm aging.
Okay, is that what's happening?
Yeah, you know the difference?
No, I really don't.
Have you ever been to a fine steakhouse?
Yes, sir.
Do they advertise that they sell old beef or aged beef?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does that make you feel better when you get up in the morning?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Then let me just call you aged.
Thank you. Thank you. But
you and I are aged school. And so I put you in that category of people I used to look up to and admire, look forward to watching the tapes, that sort of thing.
Well, I appreciate that. And old school would be about right, too, because I believe in the fundamentals. And those teachers that came before were fundamentally sound and built on principles. And that's what I strive to do.
So you're not allowed to come here and be a co-host unless you bring something. You know that, don't you, right? I mean, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Because you've been here enough to know that.
Yes, sir.
What is it that we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk today about the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Now, I know you wanted me to introduce that topic because stratospheric is not the easiest word in the world to say.
After I gave you all those positive accolades, you choose to beat me down.
No, that's it. That's wisdom. You're smart.
Okay. First of all, I resemble that insult. First of all, okay. And we did argue about this article, why you had to use such a big word.
Yeah.
You said, because you got it from a book.
I got it from a book. I got it from the Go-Giver by Bob Berg and John David Mann.
Say that book one more time.
The Go-Giver.
Go-Giver.
Giver. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It's about relationship building and how to bring value and worth to your customers, turning them really into clients as I see it, because a client is someone you care for, you take care of, and they feel it. Customer is more transactional.
Okay. So I'd be okay with good, huge, spectacular, extraordinary, but you got to have this stratospheric success.
Well, I'm glad Bob wrote it because I wanted to feel smart.
Okay, got it. So there, I count 5. Do I have that right? Are there 5? 1,
There are
2,
5.
3, 4, 5.
5.
Okay. So let's get started. And we got a little time this segment. Let's get started.
Okay, the first law.
5 laws.
5 laws.
Okay. So when somebody says law, they mean these are things that are necessities for success. Is that a fair way to look at what we're going to look at? Like, you must have these things?
I would agree with that statement. I know
Okay.
that you and I don't like to agree on statements on everything that we read, but I would agree with that. And the law is that thing which is principally based. It's based on a principle, and the fundamentals that you exercise in it are the things that take you through there.
Okay. So let's go to break.
Sure.
When we come back, we're going to go over the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Did I get it? Was I close?
You are close. That was darn good. Darn good.
Huge, big, spectacular, enormous, exceptional success. The laws of those success. We'll be back. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone. If it's Monday afternoon, Brian, can you say it? Say it. Your
Business matters.
Yeah, we got to work on that a little bit.
Keep it right here. Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, kicking off a new work week and a pretty quiet week of weather for a change. First time in a while, too, that we get our temperatures pretty close to normal. partly cloudy. Temperatures climb up to around 50 for our Monday, and then we drop back into the 20s overnight. Temperatures around 50 for Tuesday. We get a little bit cooler as we head toward the middle of the week, but plenty of sunshine and a few days to dry things up after the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Listen, save, enjoy. The WSIC app, available now in your app store.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday, January 16th, Ryan Winters performs at Bin 110 in Cornelius. Lake Norman's upscale night spot has over 400.
All right. So we're live. Okay. So just so you guys know, we just stay live on Facebook. So if you want to make fun of Brian, everybody will hear it.
Okay.
Which is perfectly fine. Look at Wilton just stepping up.
Happy New Year.
You didn't bring the little baby or nothing.
No, I didn't. I had her too, just a second ago.
Okay. All right. We're not missing you. Superstar's got this.
That's what I saw.
Superstar's got this. Good seeing you, buddy. Okay. All right. So, Brian, you got plenty of time to talk about these 5 things.
Okay.
So, Superstar, you gave up on the whole big color board and all that. Y'all done with that? You don't pop
We got it.
Oh, just Joe don't get it.
Yeah, Joe don't get it.
Superstar spectacular. I'm gonna be honest with you. He might keep that nickname. I'm gonna be honest with you. It might just stick.
I like squeaky.
WSIC News app today.
Call now to speak with Joe Vagnone at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Local Biz Now on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Yeah, you are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone. This is the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do. And I'm here with Brian Kennedy. Brian is CEO of Brian Kennedy Global. Before we get started, Brian, remind everybody what Brian Kennedy Global is all about.
We work with small business owners, typically business owners between 2 and 10 years in business, to catapult their success, to catapult their business, teach them principles and fundamentals, and work with them and guide them on a journey to the goals and achievements they went into business to achieve.
Okay, so we're getting ready to get started, and I just want you to know I'm reading on the book. And James Sanders is driving on 77. He said, hey, I'm ready to hear the 5 laws, but I got a short attention span, so let's get to it. That's what he said. So as we're describing this, let's try and describe it in a way that you don't use big words, because James can't handle big words, you understand?
Well, yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. I usually have difficulty with them anyway.
So what are the 5 laws of spectacular, extraordinary, stratospheric success?
Well, law number 1 is the law of value. And in the law of value, we talk about your true worth as a business person is determined by how much more you give in value to your customer than you take in payment.
You know, this is a statement I tell people, and I've been telling people for years when it comes to they want to open up a restaurant or a sandwich shop or a bakery. I tell them, you have to define your value through the eyes of the customer. I know you think what you're getting ready to give them has value, but if the customer doesn't see it, when they walk out after they've paid their money, if they don't believe they got value, right? you lose. It just doesn't work. That value is not easy to do.
And there's only one real way to get to value, and a lot of salespeople don't like to do this, and that is ask questions.
Yeah.
I came across the Socrates list of questions that Socrates used to ask, and if you started asking the Socratic questions, you'd think you were at a doctor's office who was trying to get to the essence of a problem in your body.
Right.
And when salespeople ask those questions, they get down to the heart of why a customer is there, be it for a sandwich, to buy a sofa,
Right.
to mail a package.
Okay, so next time you come in, I want you to bring that because I want to hear those questions. Can you do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, number 2.
The second law is the law of compensation. The law of compensation. And that says that your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Now, notice it didn't say how many people you call.
Right.
It didn't say how many people you have meetings with. It said how many people you serve. And one thing I've learned in America is that we don't like to be servants. We like to be served. But the salespeople who understand they're in business to bring something of value
Right.
to a customer is that person who is serving the customer's needs. And when you serve the customer's needs more than your own, you know, we used to say this in business all the time and in sales at American Greetings, and that is, if you need a sale, the customer can smell it. And you're going to walk out of there without one.
Right. You know, this reminds me of people say, wow, I can't believe that athlete makes so much money. I can't believe that actress makes so much money. And the truth is, they touch many, many millions of lives.
Yes.
How many do you when you are at your work? I mean,
Exactly.
it this makes perfect sense to me.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Next one, number 3.
This is the law of influence, and influence is a big thing. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Now, we started talking about this about networking last week.
Right.
And people go into a networking event and they start telling you everything about what they can do for you instead of learning about the other person, instead of being interested in the other person. And the person that asks the most questions about how you got here, for example, Andy is the guest today, and I met him a little while ago, and I started asking him, how long have you been here? How did you get into that business? What were you doing? And I was learning about Andy
He
and
told
his
me he didn't
motivations.
like you. He told me he didn't like you.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. That means he has to buy lunch when we go to lunch. But the idea there is that when you show interest in other people and don't make it about yourself,
Right.
they are willing to listen more to what you have to say, which is what? Influence.
You know, it's funny because when people ask me a question about myself personally, I always thank them because, like, I know they really don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, tell me about your family. I appreciate you saying, and I'm going to tell you about my son I'm very proud of. Now, I know you really don't want to hear this, but stay tuned because I'm going to tell you he's holding the North Carolina record, you know, for powerlifting, you know. So you're right. Even though I know they don't want to hear the answer, it makes me feel good that they asked.
But you know, when they show interest in the fact that you told about your son being a
That's
power
right.
lifter,
That's right.
and they remember that later,
That's
you
right.
draw closer together.
That's right.
That trust factor builds up and you're more willing to buy.
We got it. Okay, number 4.
The law of authenticity. I love this one.
Oh, this one.
This one's my favorite.
Okay, is it your favorite?
One of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the 5 favorites.
Okay.
The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. So basically, if you have inherent skills of counseling or coaching or listening, or you can feed in things that you've learned before. You know, one of the things that my mentor in Dallas used to say all the time is when you learn something, go teach it. And when you teach it, you'll know it even better than you ever thought you did. And the teacher always learns more in each session than the student.
Right.
Always. But that's what authenticity is that when I'm willing to share me with you.
So, Brian, the problem is if you really got to know me, you probably wouldn't like me. Like, I might be a little concerned that I might not know the topic I'm supposed to sell as much as I should, or I might have a flaw or a problem or something that I know you would dislike. It's hard for me to be genuine when I'm not exactly sure whether it's going to connect with the client. What do you say when I say that?
I think
because you're looking at me funny when I say that.
Yeah, I never thought that you would not be honest with me. That if you conceal something,
right,
you're not being forthright. You're not being authentic.
Right.
So therefore, I mean, I'm just me.
Right.
You know, we used to go to dinners with.
It is obvious. I mean, when we talk to people, we know whether they're being genuine or not.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Yes. And that's where it goes.
And let's let these people hear that I was trying to speak for them. You know, I wasn't speaking for myself because, you know, I can hold my own. But
sure.
But honestly, showing a little bit of weakness is acceptable. There's not a better thing to say in a sales meeting than I don't know, but I'll get you the answer.
It's endearing.
Yes.
It's endearing because I'm dealing with an honest person here, and that's trust
correct.
level goes up.
That's correct.
And the key is if you say you're going to find I don't know the answer, but I'm going to get it for you.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 5.
Number 5, the law of receptivity.
You gotta have big words, don't you? You just can't use regular words.
I didn't write it. I'm just reporting it.
I don't even know what that word means.
It's like when I'm driving down the road and I hit bumps, and my wife says, "Do you have to hit all the bumps?" I said, "Sweetheart, I didn't build the road. I'm just using it." The law of receptivity, the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Now, a lot of people think when I give something, I'll give something after I've built something. And the key to receiving is giving. And when you give, those of you on the radio can't see this, but when you give, your hand is out to give something. And once they take it out of your hand, it's an open hand. Now, the receptivity part, this is the part people get wrong. And that is, I'm open to receive, but if I gave Andy something, I don't expect something from Andy back.
Right.
I just expect something back that comes from someplace.
Right.
Because that good act brings good acts. I've just got to be open to it. And a lot of people feel funny when somebody gives them something.
Yeah, it's interesting because years ago, I think it was Zig Ziglar that said the best way to get what you want is to help somebody else get what they want.
Yeah, he said you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want.
And this seems to fit that same statement. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So the 5 laws are, I'm gonna read them. Are you ready? First, 5 laws of success. The law of value.
Stratospheric success.
Stratospheric success. The law of value. The law of compensation. The law of influence. The law of authenticity. And the law of what was that word?
Receptivity.
Receptivity.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that one
now,
up. I'm going to have to go to Google on that one.
Reciprocity is when you're expecting something back. Receptivity means I'm open to receiving.
Got it. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you. And I'm positive that Julie's going to put that on the book for everybody so they can pick up on that as well. Any last words you want to add to those 5? Yep, Julie's got them on. Julie's got them on the book already. Any last words you want to add to that?
All I can tell you is that when you exercise these and stick with them and keep them as part of who you are in every interaction, whether it's social or business, life changes.
Life changes.
Life changes.
You are listening to Brian Kennedy here with Brian Kennedy Global. Brian, if they want to reach you, how can they do it?
They can reach me by email at brian@briankennedyglobal.com or by phone number at 214-906-8517.
If it's Monday afternoon, your business matters. We'll be right back.
More Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Am I saying that right? Receptivity. Why you got to use big words like that? It's just not necessary.
He wrote them.
Julie told me I got to be nice to Wilton. Wilton does not deserve being nice to anymore. He is no longer my board operator. JoJo is my official board operator. Now, the fact that he got sick, got a stomach ache, it might be because for Christmas I gave him a whole bag of beef jerky.
And it was gone in one sitting.
You know, too much beef jerky. Because Joe don't look like the kind of guy that could just eat a little bit at a time, you understand?
That's funny.
That might have been what happened. Joe had too much beef jerky, and now he's going to blame me next week for him being sick.
Disgusting.
You understand that?
I do.
Okay. Julie just told me that Wilton is in charge today, and I better be nice. Julie always defending Wilton.
She's dynamite.
Well, that's because Julie likes the short, muscular guys. Wilton fits that build, you understand?
Well, that sure leaves me out.
Yeah, that Wilton looks a lot like Julie's husband, just so you know. Short, muscular. Now, Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. I could pick them both up and throw them.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, all right. We come back. Andy, you're on.
Okay.
Andy, how long have we known each other? 20 years?
15 years?
15 years.
Yeah.
I've never known your last name.
Juhasz.
Is that how you say it?
Yep.
I'm going to get that wrong. I promise you that.
Juhasz.
I actually was thinking about
Don't
that.
look at it and you will get it. If you look at it, you'll never get
That's
Juhasz
right.
out of
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
just-
about that a
I
couple
ju-
minutes ago, so we didn't discuss that.
I mean, I've called you Andy as long as I'm not
Yeah.
just, yeah.
It's like out in Texas, you'd say, "Is that Juhasz? Juhasz? Juhasz?"
Hey, because we're up here, can we fire up the burners? Okay. Because I don't think JoJo knows how to fire up the burners up there. Does he know how to do that? We're going to have to talk to him about that before he gets any more beef jerky.
Hey there, it's Josh Johnson, and as
Okay.
How big is the delay on that?
Excuse me?
The video.
How what?
How long is that delay?
I
was just watching.
About a minute. Okay. About a minute. Okay.
Oh, delay is 20 seconds.
It's only 20 seconds? Really?
Or at least on show. We've actually streamed the show, did it live.
Really?
We've rigged some.
Well, you cut that down.
I guess so.
You have, because
Yeah,
it,
they're probably
at the
used to
old studio,
Right.
it was
It
closer
might
to a
depend
minute.
It might depend on where far out
Right. Of course, the old studio, I think it was going through 17 layers of 75 years of different wires.
from. Right. Yeah, they're all still up there too.
So there's really no delay.
All doing the same thing, that just 75 times.
Right,
So it's really no delay.
yeah, exactly.
They had an entire building that's now in that closet right there. You-
Exactly. Right. Don't look in the ceiling. Not a fireman's. Not a fireman's friend. 15.
Biz Now with Joe Vagnone on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Yeah. This is the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. We've been doing it over 11 years. We have over 908 small business owners and community leaders that we have interviewed over the years. We have 736. By the end of the day, we'll have 738 videos of the interviews on the tubes. Go to Joe Vagnone, business broker. Again, Joe Vagnone, business broker. And please subscribe to our channel, we would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're live on the book, live on the tube, live on the X, live on the chain, and I got Julie trying to keep a hold of things on the book. So go on by there if you want to chit chat with us or leave us a message, and we'll try and keep track of that. I am Joe Vagnone. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And my co-host for the entire month is Brian Kennedy. Brian is the CEO of Brian Kennedy Global. He likes for me to say he is a chief catalyst and encourager. Thank you, my friend, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And so my good friend, whether he will admit it or not, has been making every single sign for the radio station and for my company as long as I have known him. Andy Rojas. Juhasz. We were joking before the break. I've known you for 15, 16 years, and I've never used your last name until that moment.
That's all right.
You said good. I'm glad. Don't try again. So I'm going to refer to him as Andy. And those of you that do know the signpost in Mooresville know of Andy. Andy, my friend, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
No
you being
problem.
here.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Brian, for having us.
So it's been a couple of years since you've been on the show, right?
It's been 5 or 6 years, I think, since
So
we've been on.
Driving up here, I was excited I was going to get to talk to you because I want to ask you this question, right? I know you as a skilled, sharp business guy. It just, whether you like it or not, it happens after you've owned a business long enough. You know what I mean? It just, whether you want to be described as that or not, you just know what business is all about after 15, 16 years. So most industries kind of track certain things to discern whether the economy is good or bad, the environment is hot or soft. Walk me through what you think is happening from a sign manufacturer's perspective.
To be honest, we haven't really seen any signs of a downturn. We've been very fortunate, and people that always spend money are still spending money. I mean, by people, I mean the industries. An election year like last year, there are a few things that don't show up as much. We do a lot of work for the TV and film industry. They do cut back some spending when there's some unknowns with the elections. But other than that, I mean, things have been good.
Walk everybody through what sort of some of the things that Signpost does a lot of.
Well, we can do anything from business cards to billboards. Typically, we don't do a lot of billboards. We do a lot of business cards, but vehicle graphics. I mean, anything to get a small business name out there. If you don't know if we do it or not, just ask, and we'll probably tell you. We'll figure it out.
Right. Well, that's funny you say that because that's how I described you to Brian. Was Brian, the reason why I like Andy is if I tell him what I want, he'll figure out a way to make it. And those of you that know me know I like to be a little creative and try different stuff. And, Andy will see me coming and say, oh, no, Joe, I don't have time for you now. Come back in 10 minutes and then we'll talk.
But you know what they call that? Value.
Yes.
Value, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
No question about it. The other value that you give is all of the graphics piece, all the creative side. You help these business people before it ever is something that you're ready to put together and print, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
You will help them put together what's in their mind's eye.
Absolutely. We start from a blank piece of paper. And we got two very well accomplished designers that work for us that can walk you through it and help out. And we're not going to put anything out there until you're 100% satisfied.
I love Ishmael. You know that, don't you, right?
I do.
How long's he been with you?
He's been with me about 11 and a half years.
Yeah, he's just great.
And I've had Austin with me almost 6 years now.
It's really because, when I see Austin, I think of him as superstar back there on the board, been there like 2 days. You know,
he's in there 6 years.
Wow.
May it'll be 6 years.
I didn't realize that.
Yep. So, yeah, we tried it.
So we see each other the most around the Chamber Expo time when I'm always trying to fresh up my booth and do something. But are there cycles in signage business, sometimes higher than others?
Yeah, I mean, you got the golf tournament season coming up, so we see a lot of that type of thing. And a lot of fundraisers in the fall. End of the year, a lot of businesses have some spending they need to do, so that's really a good time for us. But really, summer slows down, but other than that, it's pretty consistent.
So I'm curious, most people don't know your background, right? So kind of walk them through what your background was before you became Andy, the sign guy.
Well, we moved down to Mooresville about almost 18 years ago and didn't know what Plan A was. Plan B, there was something to fall back on, but didn't know Plan A. And we just looked into a lot of things, kind of stumbled into the industry. You know, I brought a financial background with me, which really doesn't do me much good right now. thought it would get me further, but it doesn't. But like I said, it's a chance to be creative. It was a chance for me to see my son grow up and not have to work a corporate job where we, didn't have much flexibility, and it's been great.
I tell people most, and Brian, I'd like to get your opinion on this as well. Most small business people are not doing what they do because they want to make more money. They want their life, their time to be theirs.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, I probably could have made a lot more money going and working for a big bank, but it's the flexibility. It's the less stress. Well, not necessarily the case most of the time, but
right.
It's
well, there's certainly stress.
I have control over the stress.
That's correct. That's right.
I have control over the stress, but it's and it's the American dream. It's what people strive to do, and it's definitely not for everybody, but it's been great.
Right.
It's been great.
Transitioning from finance, the world of finance, into making signs. How did that come about?
Like I said, I touched in the graphics industry, graphics field a little bit when I was back in college, so I knew a little bit of what was going on, and I stumbled into my first job out of college was in the sign industry back in New York, and it was a stepping stone. It was never intended to be a career or anything, and like I said, when I moved down here, I always still noticed the signs, and Mooresville was going through a huge growth at the time, and I said, that might be a way to make some money, and rest is history.
Well, that's a true statement. That your area is probably one of the top areas in North Carolina for new growth. I mean, that certainly doesn't hurt.
Yes, there's some drawbacks to it, but as far as a small business owner, it's been phenomenal. I mean, it gives us people like me opportunity that wouldn't be there otherwise. I mean, you deal with the traffic and the setbacks and with the growth, but we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We as small business owners wouldn't be able to do what we're doing if it wasn't for that growth.
So, walk me through the process of starting this business, because I know how hard that is, right? So go back 15 years, right? Walk me through what that was like.
I tell you what, I've thought back on that, and there's times I'm like, man, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
I mean,
if I knew what I had to do, I wouldn't have done it, right?
What was I thinking? I mean, if I just went and flipped burgers somewhere making minimum wage,
that's right,
I would have been better for many years.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, it's just when I moved down here, I guess I didn't have a fear. It was a new life. It was a chance to start, and at this point in life, I don't know if I would have the strength and energy to do it, but we didn't think anything of it. It was we wanted to make what we wanted to make, and that gave us the opportunity to do it.
So tell me about your family. You got kids?
I do. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are bonus kids. I'm divorced and remarried. My oldest is 21. Finishing up college at ECU. He's going to school online. 19-year-old is up in Elon University right now. And then our youngest, Lindsay, is a sophomore at Mooresville High School.
Do any of them want to be in the sign business?
Not as far as I can tell.
I ask that because that is so common, that what we built, the family doesn't want. I see how hard Dad works at that. I don't want to do that.
And that's when I started the business. I never had an exit strategy, and maybe I should have. I mean, that's up your alley, Joe. But never thought about it. Somebody will take it over. Somebody will want to run it. I'll just kind of sit back and give advice, and I don't think that's going to be the case.
Right. Oh, don't worry, Andy. We'll find somebody. Julie and I will find somebody for it when you're ready. Let's take a break and we'll be back. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I'm here with Andy, the sign post of Mooresville. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back.
We'll return to more of Local Biz Now with your host, Joe Vagnone, after these messages on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
My biggest problem is I have a tough time paying people to do things that I feel like I could do myself.
See,
and
let me explain something to you. And I know that Brian's got a book for this, right?
Yeah.
You need to stop thinking that way because you cannot grow and you cannot build something that I can then sell if you are doing it. You know what I tell my clients? Listen, I'm sorry, but you're really good at what you do, so I can't sell that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not selling you.
No.
Right?
That's right.
And so you have
I
to
understand that.
learn to teach what you know, and here's the kicker on this, and please disagree with me, Brian, if you think, which is, it is, what's the word I want to use? It's almost offensive that you're going to give away, because that's what it feels like. You're going to give away and train Austin or Ishmael or somebody to do the things that you do, right? And teach them, because a lot of what you do, it's not like you're this super skilled woodworker, but you rethink, how can I make Joe sign, right? Yeah. Like, that thought process. But you think you're the only one in your organization do it, but I promise you, if you told them, guys, figure out a way to make Joe happy, they would come up with a sign. Not exactly the way you made it, but they'd come up with a sign.
On that end of it, they're great. It's the business side of it. It's, building my own website. And so rather than paying development, that's where I have enough knowledge to be able to do it myself. It's just stuff like that gets bumped because it doesn't pay my bills right away.
Well, yeah, the other aspect of that is while you're investing yourself, your time in building your own website, what are you losing hourly
your opportunity cost
on the other side?
Well, it's interesting because all of us small business people, I had a very, very skilled business attorney that had a lot of very high end small business clients, and he said, Joe, old guy, Joe, my clients, small business people, if they had a big enough mirror, they'd do their own brain surgery.
Yeah,
and that's what we do, right? Like, because I can.
I like
do
that
it,
analogy.
Because I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
Local starts here.
Yeah, you are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. I'm here with Andy. He is the owner of the Signpost in Mooresville. Andy, if they wanted to reach you, buddy, how could they do that?
Sure. A couple of ways they can reach us. One is on the internet, thesignpostonline.com. A couple email addresses they can reach us through there as well. And then they can give us a call, 704-799-1818. Of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and
So I want everybody listening, because I get to say this as a customer of yours for 15 years, right? You are exceptional. You give value. You guarantee the clients are going to like what they receive. And you can absolutely be the cheapest guy on the block, or you can absolutely be the most creative person that they need. There is no sign consideration that you guys cannot handle. And I don't say that because you're sitting in front of me. I really believe that.
I think that is the truth. I mean, it's very little we can't figure out a way to do. We'll meet a budget, we'll solve a problem.
I mean, the latest one is I came to you with this burner cigar. We've got this big poster, right, that we want people to hold up a sign and get a free cigar.
It would have fit behind you, too.
You think it would have fit?
I think it would have fit.
I mean, it took you, weeks to figure out what it's going to look like and the graphics, and then you had to figure out a way to make it fit. And then I called you and said, hey, can we make it a couple feet taller? And Andy didn't argue. He said, okay, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But that's what you do. I mean, that is a rare, unique. You're just not a cookie cutter. Come to me and I'll put some vinyl on a box.
We try to think outside the box and really be a problem solver for small business.
And so I urge people to go to the Signpost in Mooresville and talk to Andy, talk to Ishmael. They're just exceptional. And what Ishmael does is all the graphic stuff. So it's a creative thinking. He takes my mind's eye, puts it on paper, sends it to me and says, is this what you're thinking? And I say, yeah. How did you get that? Yeah, I thought I was rambling for 10 minutes. And, you know, an hour later, you come back with a sign that looks awesome.
Yeah, those guys are the best. They really know how to hit it on the nail on the head there.
And they think a lot of you. And let's talk about that a little bit, because as small business people, there's one thing we know. You must take care of your people to a point that, just like we aren't working because it's all about money, right? Yep. It's a lifestyle. They aren't working for a small business owner, except there's certain privileges that they want, right? There's certain flexibility, and each person is different.
Yep.
And we want to give them that flexibility so that we can get the level of quality that we need to perform at our best.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something I learned early on, is you got to treat them right. And that way you can completely trust them to run that business when you're not there, and take care of the people that can make or break you.
Right. Julie just put on the book that Ishmael likes orange. I never realized that Ishmael is a little partial to orange. I'll have to,
honestly, I didn't either.
I'll have to think through that one.
I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
That's right. We're gonna test him on. We're gonna ask for the last 10 signs that he made. Let's see how many of them got orange on.
You know, Andy, you mentioned that treating your people right is important to keeping them and running a great business. You know, there was a statistic I read recently that said 67% of people stop doing business with a company because they feel overlooked. They feel that the employees are indifferent toward them. What is it that you do? What are top maybe 3 things that you do to feed into your team to make them the best that people can expect to see?
Well, we try to treat them like family. You know, they've both been with us a long time, and we really try to. My wife and I try to treat them like family and let them feel like they're part of our life.
And those aren't just words. I mean, because they are making you have a better life, just like family.
They are.
Yeah,
they are. And I want to know, if I want to take a long weekend, which doesn't happen much, that the place is going to be there when I get back.
Right. Right.
You know, and then we try to give them a vested interest in the business, and so they can see it grow and feel it grow, and it's not just me throwing numbers at them. They can kind of really feel it, and I think that's helped a lot with our guys, bringing them in, and you know, we work with them on some bonuses, you know, and that's something we did after COVID, because we didn't, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty, but we threw some bonuses out there and opened up some of the insider stuff that I might not have done before, and made them part of what's going on.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's really what's helped.
So I'm curious. Business owners manage their business differently after they've been doing it for a long period of time. Some of us get sloppy, right? Some of us don't do the same networking we used to do. We were talking about it. I don't do as much networking as I used to do before COVID. Talk a little bit about that. Where do you find or expect to get new clients from? Where does that come from?
We've been very fortunate. Most of our business has been referrals, and it goes back to, you know, keeping our clients happy, keeping our staff happy, and but yeah, I mean, building the business originally, networking was our top tool to create and grow, and like you, Joe, I mean, since COVID, it's been a tough habit to get back into,
right?
And we need to. We know that, but we've been very fortunate with the referrals, and you know, some luck.
Have you seen the sign industry shrink? I mean, have there been some people that have come into the market or gone out of the market? Has any of that changed in your industry? You see, as a business broker, I see you as the guy on the front line. Whenever somebody new is coming to town, they got to get a sign, right? Or if they're having a challenge of some sort, they need to come up with some sort of magic poster or something. Yeah. So that's why I see you as this measurement school. So your industry, is it up or down?
Our industry, I think, is doing pretty well. I mean, we get a lot of people coming and going, as like a lot of other places. The the initial equipment cost has gone down considerably as technology's gotten cheaper. You deal with more people working out of a garage or that sort of thing.
Right.
But what we see is they're not able to build those relationships. They don't have the
Because I don't trust them when they tell me to go to their garage and see the
I think that's part of it. And so we see some of them come and go. Same thing. I mean, with some of our clients, we see them come and go. They enter it. I don't think there's a business plan. There's just a shot in the dark, an idea they had. And they're not bad ideas, but there really wasn't a business plan to keep it going. So you see a lot of turnover there. But as far as the industry as a whole, I think it's pretty solid. Pandemic was tough.
Right.
And we've seen it change a little bit. One of our largest clients is an event marketing company, and we've seen them go from print to more digital. I mean, they still do use us for a good amount, but their business has changed a little bit because.
So I was going to ask you that. Like, one of the things I saw, and it was on Shark Tank a year or two ago, there's this whole new push to take like what's the woman that did doing the whole $1 billion singer? What's her name? Anyways. Dating the guy from Kansas City.
Oh, Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're taking her DVD and they are creating this marketing package that is hardcover marketing package and putting it in Target.
Okay.
And it's become this multi-million-dollar thing that everybody wants. So it's again, it's going back to this old school way of marketing records and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And I'm curious, are your clients trying to move in different direction, knowing that digital seems to be the future? Somebody might be trying to come up with this, this direct mail. Or
we haven't seen a shift directly. Hopefully there is. I mean, I'm a big fan of the retro. I'm a big fan of the vinyl coming back. I'd love to see some more old school type of stuff going on, but we haven't seen it firsthand. I'm not saying it's not happening, but we haven't seen it. I hadn't seen that about the Taylor Swift stuff either.
Right. Well, I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah.
Except they were describing it, trying to get money.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there's two directions. There's a whole bunch of digital, and then there's this event related print that's getting ready to happen. For me, I try and tell retailers all the time they need posters like you build them, because you can create a feeling. Brian, jump in if you disagree, but you can create a feeling the minute you walk into a retail establishment just by a poster looking like or saying something. And the best way to describe that is if you walk in and see a Christmas tree, you get a certain feeling.
Yep.
You can create a feeling with the poster as well in a retail, and not enough retailers are doing that.
Absolutely. But they can also do it with a video screen, unfortunately. And we do some of that as well. We work with a company that, where we're able to put up a TV, have a Fire Sticker with it, and we can make changes to, say, a menu board or that sort of thing.
Right.
From our desk there, and within minutes we can have it changed up on their screen so they don't have to maintain that kind of stuff.
We had that kind of stuff in the greeting card departments when I worked for American Greetings. And we'd go in and we'd have anything that was action, because it would attract a kid, and a kid would bring mama. And mama's bought 90% of cards.
Yep.
We've only got about a minute. What advice would you give somebody that is thinking about getting into business? What help can you give them?
I would say just do your homework on what you're looking to get into. Don't overthink it. Don't fear. I think a lot of people get in and fear it and realize how much competition they have. There's enough business to go around for everybody. Just be smart about it and do your homework.
And where would you tell them they need to start networking? Where's a good place to start with that?
Any of the local chambers of commerce are good. There's actually even some groups that are based out of Facebook that do have weekly meetings as well. Mm-hmm. And anywhere, basically, as a business owner, you're a marketing tool 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Brian, anything you want to add to that?
No, he's right in that you've got to start
he is
getting
a master
out there.
Sign maker.
Well, he is that, and I see it right in front of me. But you're right. It's the number of people who know what you're doing. Don't be in a secret service.
There was a smart man that once told me, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yes.
Good one.
That was Captain Gus.
Got you. We will see you next week where your business matters.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Moore's